He needs to become a man. And that's exactly why he's coming on the next date with you.
How you doing today, Jeremy?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. I mean, obviously, first and foremost, longtime fan since It, but I also just loved London Calling. This movie was hilarious. The action was great. Just a good, well-rounded film. I'd love to hear
Thank
first
you.
and foremost what it was that interested you in wanting to be a part of this one.
That's a loaded question. There's a lot. Josh Duhamel, obviously, like I grew up on the Transformers movies, so huge fan of him. Rick Hoffman, Aidan Gillen, all those guys, huge fans. Which those guys actually weren't attached, so that was even just like a big plus. But I think the main thing was like comedy and action. I've done a little bit of comedy with Senior Year, Goosebumps, that kind of thing. But like action and comedy in the same thing is a hard movie to book. So I think that was really, really cool. And being able to do like our own stunts and all that kind of stuff, it just looked like a super fun project that also had like a lot of heart.
That's awesome. So since you mentioned then doing your own stunts, I mean, Josh and Alan were telling me last week how you are a bit of a bodybuilder in your own right. So I was curious to hear how much of the stunts you did for this film, given that Julian gets into some fun antics.
Yeah. Everything that you see is pretty much me. There's like two things that I wasn't legally allowed to do, and I was like, okay, whatever. I'll get my stunt license and we'll do that next time. There's like a time where we had to be in front of a moving car, and I asked the stunt coordinator, and he was like, yeah, that's never happening. So I was like, okay, whatever, fine. But pretty much everything. I love that kind of stuff. It gets you in a character. It lets you do the other stuff, like acting after the fact, a lot easier because you know what happened. It can be hard sometimes whenever like a stunt double does it for you, and then you come in and you're like just breathing hard from the situation that you didn't really get to see. So yeah, I love doing my own stunts, and most of it is me. And I'm not trying to like toot my horn. That kind of sounds a little arrogant, but I try to as much as possible.
No, I get you. I mean, there is a really interesting balance between letting a stunt double do it and doing it yourself. But like you say, it's good to let you be in the moment as your character. So that's great. So did you have a favorite stunt then that you got to pull off? Because I think about something like the car roll and how that's a bit comedic, but also pretty awesome to do.
Yeah, I think that's where my head goes first. Is the car roll. It's just like, I think that action and comedy and horror all kind of have similar timing, and so whenever you get to do like physical comedy, but also doing an actual stunt was kind of fun. And then a lot of the stuff that you wouldn't even think is stunts, like when you're army crawling across hard sand where there's glass and stuff, while gunshots are going off around your head and stuff like that. So yeah, anything that was just like intense was fun, but definitely the car roll comes to mind for sure.
It's a good one. It's a good beat, but I hear you, man. Yeah, that army crawling must have been quite the exercise. So
Yeah.
You talked about loving Josh growing up on his work, and I mean, this film is so much of a two-hander between the two of you. So I'd love to hear what it was like, finding your characters' dynamics with one another and finding each other's rhythms as you were, especially given this is comedy and therefore you have to really feel out how to play off one another.
Yeah, absolutely. Working with Josh was so easy. He's such a great guy. I was telling the last guy that, I mean, it's hard. It's very rare that you meet an actor of his caliber that's actually as amazing as you think that he would be. And Josh, I mean, it was easy. We didn't have to work on chemistry. We just kind of clicked, and it worked great. And he's such a good guy. And I think that, obviously he has a son and a daughter, and I think that kind of worked out. And yeah, it worked. It was incredible. Definitely no problems.
I'm glad to hear that. And then how about working with Rick? Because I mean, that dynamic, even though we don't get it quite as much as maybe Josh and Rick, it's still pretty funny to see you guys him go at you more than anything. But what was it like, again, finding that rhythm and rapport with him?
It's good, man. I have not worked with a comedy actor that speaks so fast. So it was different to try and match his timing, because he is very, very quick, and he wants your line on the heels of his line. And it's also really strange to try and work on chemistry that is not chemistry. Like, the whole point is that he hates me. So like there's no like getting to know him and like getting closer to make that seem better. We really needed to stay distant. But yeah, Rick is great. He's super freaking funny. And it's hard working with Rick and Josh in the same scene and not laughing. Like, there's so many moments that were so fun, and moments that I was supposed to be like upset about the situation. So it's hard to like have to play both sides of it. But yeah, no, it was incredible. Him and Aidan Gillen are awesome actors.
Aiden, I mean, he just comes on the scene and just kills it every single time. And
Yeah.
so when you see him, you know, this iconic villain actor step into the scene and you're having to fear for your life, what's sort of going through your head, especially given you've already feared for your life with one of the more terrifying foes in the form of Pennywise?
Yeah, I think it's interesting you say that because they are two very different like villains. One is paranormal and one is just like an evil human being, and those are two completely different like psycho mindsets. But yeah, I mean, Aidan Gillen, he has an aura, dude. He walks into a room and it's like, whoa, he has control right now, and it's very, very cool. I didn't get to do like a ton with him in the movie. We don't have like a lot. It's more him and Josh. But it was awesome. I freaking love Peaky Blinders. Like most people know him from Game of Thrones, but Peaky Blinders is where I knew him from, and so that was really cool. Averama Gold, like right in front of me. So yeah, I mean, it was awesome, and he's definitely got an aura to him.
I can only imagine, and it's so funny because for me, my first introduction was Maze Runner, so I always yeah. It's so curious to hear what everybody's first interactions are with characters.
Yeah. I actually did not realize that he was in Maze Runner until like a few months ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's him too.
He nails it as villains, and
yeah,
that's what I love about him. So taking away from this film, then, what's one of the most exciting, you know, experiences you had that you're looking forward to carrying over into the next set? Whether it's the action, whether it's the comedy, what's something you're really looking forward to bringing forward from this?
That's a really good question. I feel like this was one of the first movies where everyone was really, really established, and we all kind of had like our own rapport and could come on with our own ideas. So this was less of a learning experience and more of like a let's get this movie made and make it freaking awesome together. And so that was really cool. It was kind of the first time I've ever done that, where everyone was on the same caliber. It was awesome. But I mean, there's a lot that I'm really, really excited for. This is my first time doing like a full comedy movie where I'm a lead. So I can't wait for people to see that. I think it's funny, at least. I hope that's good. But there's so much there. It's really cool and rare to see an action comedy these days that actually has a really nice heart underlying story that you'll end up crying to at the end too. So like, I can't wait for people to see it. The whole thing, man.
I couldn't agree more, man. There's so much to love in this film, and your character, I think Julian really is the beating heart of it. And so you talk about ideas, by the way, and I am curious. You know, Alan, I've talked with him before and all these things, and he is a very collaborative person, I've found. And I'm curious, so what was one of the big ideas you maybe brought to Julian that he was really excited that you brought to?
That's a really good question. I wish I had some great answer, and I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I think it was more in the moment collaboration. Josh was really easy to work with, so I think it was a lot of just bouncing back and forth and kind of letting our own ad libs handle it. We also had another amazing producer on the set that had kind of more vulgar lines written, so sometimes we would try and sneak those in and maybe they'll make the final cut. So yeah, I mean, it was a lot of in the moment stuff, I think, and I've had a lot of firearm training as well, so it was kind of him having to teach me to not look so professional with my firearm too, and kind of me giving Josh a little bit of pointers, and with the car and stuff like that. I know how to drive manual, so I was kind of teaching Josh how to teach me how to drive manual, so it was a whole thing, but it was an awesome collaboration.
That's awesome, dude. I don't even know how to drive manual, so that's impressive, man. But
yeah, I'm not great at it. I'm not great, but I can get from point A to point B.
Well, I love that you brought all those extra layers to the character. It really does make those comedic beats even more funny and surreal than to watch, you know, something like the target practice and whatnot. And it's like, oh, no wonder he's killing it, because he actually knows.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm almost out of time. So before I let you go, I mentioned him a minute ago, and I know you hear about him all the time, but Pennywise, still love those movies. Obviously, Welcome to Derry's coming back to that world. And I'm curious, you know, have you ever had thoughts about revisiting Ben in some shape or form, given there's so much time between chapter 1 and chapter 2?
If that opportunity ever arose, I would be the first to sign, for sure. I would love to. I cannot wait for Welcome to Derry. I've been like, I thought it was coming out sooner, and I realized today that it was coming out in October. I thought it was coming out in September, so I'm disappointed. But dude, I love the franchise. Obviously I'm biased, but I thought it was an incredible horror movie, and I can't wait to see more. And I know that, I mean, if Bill Skarsgård's coming back and Andy is coming back, then it's going to be great. And I can't wait to check that out as well.
Well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they find a way to get you guys back, because even if it's anthology seasons of everybody or anthology episodes of everybody, I know there's so much more material with the Losers Club. But in the meantime, Jeremy, truly so much fun talking with you for London Calling. Again, I love this movie and I cannot wait to get the word out about it. So thank you for taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
3, 2, 1.
I'm Julian.